whatever, and like we're vibing and everything. When that happens, he ends up getting fired.
Ugh.
The whole show gets blown out, and I'm like,
man.
"Fuck, are you serious?"
But were you signed on?
I was literally.
You were in.
I was in the door because they were yelling at him for me being there, so we had to find a way for me to be in, whether it's in promotion.
Right.
We were going to find a way for me to. We're ready, you know. This push comes to shove, you have to do something with him, or he can't be here.
Right.
And so we were working on that, and then he gets fired.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So
So how did that turn into a career?
Yeah. So what happened was he was willing to take me anywhere in the country with him. He was going to go somewhere new. Remember, he went from Detroit to Chicago, coming from Pittsburgh,
Dallas,
Philly. He's put on pretty much a lot of the major jocks that are under 30 years old. He put on.
Nice.
And I could name in every single market somebody that he's put on. The consultant, Tic Tac didn't necessarily get fired. The consultant that was consulting Kiss FM Chicago got fired. Tic Tac was one of his guys, Steve Perrin. So Steve Perrin gets fired, Tic Tac gets fired, they all get blown out.
So it's just like a trickle down effect, kind of.
Yeah. Everyone because when you bring in a new
team,
PD, they want their own people, and they don't want to deal with other people.
Sure.
And there's more politics. The guy that came in, I don't think really got completely along with Tic Tac. I don't know about that, but Tic Tac's getting severance pay. I'm not. I'm still a student. I barely graduated because I stopped going to school because I was going to fucking the show.
Because you were going to work.
I literally almost didn't graduate. They're like, right? I had the most studio hours, and we probably need to take a break in a minute. But I'll get to you to the point to where I came to Peoria. Steve Perrin gets an opportunity in Peoria to launch Kiss FM in Peoria.
Okay.
And this is when Independence Media, they bought, when all the flipping happened. I think when
I had a question about that because if you were in the radio, okay, so it was probably around the same time because I do remember when 105.7 was the pirate station.
Yes.
That was
99.9.
That was 105. It was the 10 o'clock news. Do you remember when the local band started playing on that show?
Yeah.
It was 30 minutes where they dedicated to local music.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no patting myself on the back. I kind of started that shit. I was working at Comfort Suites, front desk attendant.
Which is a great hotel, by the way.
It is fantastic hotel.
Very comfy.
Their bed sheets are phenomenal.
Unreal.
But I'm listening to the 10 o'clock news, and the whole premise of the 10 o'clock news was Don Egan. You could call in and request any song.
Yeah.
So people would request like track 11 off of Def Leppard's Hysteria or some shit. So I call him up. I'm at work. I'm folding towels, and I call him up, and I was like, have you heard of this band, Seven Rivers? Can you play some Seven Rivers? And he's like, I don't have it. And I was like, oh, they're from Chicago. They're awesome. You should check them out. And he's like, I'll tell you what, if you have one of their CDs, I'd be more than happy to play it. It was my band. So I left work, put the little sign out away for 15 minutes, drove over to the radio station, gave him the CD. He was like, yeah, I'll play, man. And then
was it on Brandywine?
Yes.
So it was right there. It was right there. You really literally had to cross the street.
Just crossing the street.
Got it.
So he plays it, and then I'd say probably two shows later, I'm at work again. I'm listening to the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
And he asked for somebody from Seven Rivers to call him. And so I call him.
So he took a shot in the dark looking for you.
Yeah, he totally knew that it was my band. Yeah. I mean, we recorded this thing out in Stinky Pete Studios. Like, it wasn't professional. Like, the tray sleeve I made on my printer. So he totally knew I was the guy in the band. And he just said, hey, if anybody from Seven Rivers is here listening to the show, give me a call. I need to talk to you. So I call him, and he's like, hey, we've been getting a request for your song. How about you come in, we do an interview? So I was like, all right, cool. And then other bands started being like, well, play our stuff. And I even had lunch with the program director at the time, can't remember his name, and he told me, he's like, I have to shut this down. I can't be playing unsolicited material on the air. And he's like, I just wanted to have lunch with you and let you know. It was at McDonald's, but he was like, I just wanted to let you know that, we can't play because we're getting hate phone calls from other bands because we're playing your stuff. We let off the 5 o'clock traffic jam with Donnie, or with can't remember his name, the DJ's name. But like, we were starting to get regular rotation, and he was like, I can't do it.
And it's honestly sad, man.
And then it was shortly after that
local anesthetic, I think is what it's called, is what you're referring to, right? The local show.
Well, it was called the 10 o'clock news when you were on it. That's all it was. 10 to 10:30, they would play local music. But yeah, then another radio station started doing that. Local anesthetic.
Yeah. I think something like that is what pushes local anesthetic. They radios always stuck to the major record labels, and people always ask, why can't you play my shit? Why do you play the same stuff over and over again?
Sure.
That's
I
why.
took a pill and I'm bees.
Yeah.
How many times have you?
A lot, and not just top 40, but rock. Rock is sold out as anything.
Right.
You know, all these rock songs are just, bleh,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But a local show is a way to keep the locals happy. And I think there needs to be more of that, to be honest. Like, I have local rappers and singers on my show all the time when I was on the air in Peoria.
Sure, I've seen that.
That helped with my numbers more than anything, because those guys share it with their local people, and
Sure.
they listen in, and I think at this point, though, they don't even care about ratings as much as they do just money.
Yeah.
You know,
advertising revenue.
Yeah.
But it was shortly after the 10 o'clock news got shut down that all of the radio stations got bought up, and then they all changed their logos, and they all changed their names.
That's
trying to bring it back.
That's where I come to Peoria.
Okay.
That's where I come to Peoria. So Independence Media, it was a big split. It wasn't just an easy, simple split. They traded stations, essentially.
Okay.
So I don't know what the clusters were at the time, but what they ended up being, what Independence Media ended up getting out of it was 98.5, which was Hope 98.5, which was a Christian radio station.
Oh.
Yeah. 99.9, which I don't know what that was before at the time. It wasn't Rocky. Or was it?
It was Rocks.
It was
99X.
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 We got 99.9. We got 96.5, which at the time was, I don't know, a very weak signal.
Yeah.
And then we got 101.1. What we did with those, 101.1 was Mix FM. It had Scott and Gin. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Sure.
Yeah, Scott and Gin. They did the morning show. They were the bread and butter.
Yeah.
101.1 was a strong signal at the time. Then 99.9 became Pirate Radio.
Like alternative rock.
Yeah. And did you? It was actually a good station.
Yeah, it was a good station.
It was a really, really, really well programmed radio station. Adult alternative is a dying format.
Sure.
And there are a lot of reasons to that, which we could get to at another show. But and I know you're passionate about adult alternative.
Yeah, I mean, or contemporary.
Contemporary.
I mean, like, yeah.
So and then 96.5 was a weak signal. So what they did, they simulcasted 98.5 and 96.5. And remember, my internship.
I do remember that.
And we were in Chicago working for Kiss FM. So naturally, it was a silver lining. You get fired from doing the afternoon drive in Chicago. Steve Perrin comes down to consult. Tic Tac, do you mind coming down to help program 98.5 Kiss FM and launch it? And remember, at this time, he's gone through every single major market except for New York and L.A.
Sure, and we're talking about Peoria.
Yes.
So he could not have been excited.
He wasn't, but I came down with him, and I came down with him, and I looked at it, and I was just so freaking excited to be here, just to be in the situation.
Sure.
I was helping to develop the logo. I was consulting the logo. They treated me like I was Tic Tac.
Okay.
I was 21 years old, but they were like, they were like excited for us to be here. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you're from Chicago.
Yeah, 92.3 stayed what it was, but that was the only top 40 type of radio station in here. So they brought me down. I had to listen to Big D. I listened to Gusto and whoever the hell else was on the air at that time. It's a dude named Q, I think. I had to listen. That was my job, to listen and to consult and stuff and to help with music. Tic Tac. And if he ever listens to this, he could attest to it. He had a nervous breakdown. He fucking hated it. He hated it here. He did not want to come here. And he had this one moment where something crashed. Somebody fucked with the mic processing. He snapped on them, and he was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Govia, let's go. Cold turkey. Govia, we're leaving. I am done with this.
Wow.
And then Steve Perrin comes up to me. He's like, Govia. Govia. He's like, Govia, you got to talk to him. Because Perrin's like freaking out. He's the consultant.
Sure.
He's already probably put his neck out on the line saying, hey, we're going to do this project.
We're going to fix this.
Yes, we're going to do this. And Tic Tac's leaving. He's like, Govia, whatever you need. You just need to make him stay. And we're talking. Tic Tac's leaving. Straight up leaving. And he left. And I had to go with him. But on the way out and on the way back to Chicago, I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm staying. I want to be here. It's close to home. I want to be in Peoria. Think about that. Think about what I said to him. I want to be here. I want to be in Peoria. The look that he gave me, he was like, serious, of all places in this country, you want to be.
I've got to agree with him here. I have to agree with him, dude.
But I'm 20, 21 years old. I didn't see the world like he saw the world. You know what I mean?
That's
I saw
true.
opportunity.
Opportunity here.
And
that's true.
That's what I've seen my whole career. And he didn't budge at that point. But we are, we go home. We're roommates at the time in Chicago. His severance package is drying up. He only had a 3-month severance package. And I'm talking to them. He's talking to them, but they're talking to me on a whole different level, you know, because he's not sold yet. They're like, how's it going on there? They're like, we want to offer you blah, blah, blah. But obviously I knew that the catch was they want Tic Tac.
So the deal was including Tic Tac.
Always,
okay.
Always. So finally, I go up to Tic Tac, and the same talk that I had with him when we're leaving. That's when I finally give him the final. I'm like, dude, I want to go. I want to go to fucking Peoria, dude. I think we should do this. We're launching a brand new radio station. Whatever.
You got free. I would assume that you guys coming from Chicago, that you guys would have complete control over
everything. We're starting a whole brand new radio station.
That would be
in itself.
That in and of itself would be attractive. I could see that
for me and for him. Even like, dude, like, come on, bro. We're fucking starting this whole new radio station. Like, this is cool. Sure. And it's Kiss FM. I grew up on Kiss FM, kind of, or B96 and shit, whatever. But so. And this is a moment that changed my life. It obviously changed his life, and it changed a lot of lives here in Peoria, where he was like, fine, I'll go.
That is awesome.
He gave me 1 year. He says, I'll give you 1 year, but when I'm done, and I'm leaving. And that's exactly what happened. I co-hosted the afternoon show with him, like we did in Chicago, and then I had no experience doing a show on my own. I was always his co-host at this time. So I had never done my own show yet when I first came out here.
Sure.
So he had me in the studio with him, and finally he gave me a chance to do the night show by myself. So I would do the afternoon show with him, and then I'd do the night show. And Steve Perrin comes to visit, and I accidentally drop an F-bomb. One of my callers does.
Oh,
I almost got fired. I don't really want to get into that, but so essentially I was on the air. I didn't lose my gig, but I was on the air from 3 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday. And dude, I will tell you, bro, I have never loved a job so much in my life. The longest job before this I held was Hollister. You talk about how can you be on the air for 9 hours and not be crazy? I loved every single fucking minute of it. And even after my show was done, I was in the studio putting in music, fucking doing everything. I was in love with this job. And today I still am, but it's not like it was.
I got you.
It's just like the puppy love stage in a relationship, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And a year into it, he leaves for San Francisco. That was the next market.
Oh, man.
San Francisco.
I would love going out.
Stop.
Oh, man.
Stop.
Oh, you've never been to San Francisco.
I've never been to San Francisco.
Oh,
I could have done been in San Francisco again.
San Francisco, beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I mean, just like you, like I never knew that this was something that would be entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years later, we've been on iTunes and iHeartRadio, and you guys can find us, The Bill and Joe Show, on Facebook, Twitter, and all that other stuff. 3 years later, I still enjoy doing this, and I owe it all to like Bob and Tom.
Yeah,
like they're a great morning show.
Absolutely,
nothing better than waking up laughing.
Yeah,
like nothing starts your day off great like as a good laugh. And then Joe Rogan started doing podcasts, and he's one of my favorite comedians. So I started listening to him. I was like, why the hell aren't we doing this? And Joe's just like, well, fuck it, let's do it. And we started doing it, and it's just like, to be able to be in your position, man, I've got a lot of respect for it. I mean, 9 hours on the radio, that seems a bit tough. This show's an hour long.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you also get, music breaks and cues, and I've been in the studio before.
Yeah.
With Don Egan back in the days when we would come in and do interviews, and I see all the stuff that you got going on.
People always tell me how lucky I am, and I am blessed and lucky. But